Relentless, probing, fearless. This is Emmy Award-winning Full Disclosure with Leslie Dutton, bringing you the truth by revealing the news behind the news.
We are enthusiastic about embarking on an exciting new venture marked by the 100-year anniversary of the Federal Reserve System, which has been described as a Ponzi scheme, a scam, and at best a bluff. G. Edward Griffen was very critical of the Federal Reserve in his monumental book, The Creature from Jekyll Island.
People think that the Federal Reserve is an agency of the federal government. It is not. It is a cartel, no different than a banana cartel or an oil cartel. It happens to be a banking cartel.
Having moved from the gold standard in October of 1976, the United States monetary system became pure fiat money, printed as Federal Reserve notes. According to Mr. Griffen, that gave the Federal Reserve absolute power over the American economy.
You put the power to create money out of nothing into the hands of any group, and eventually it will corrupt that group.
And according to him, they wield that power with impunity.
People in the Federal Reserve and the biggest banks in the country view the taxpayers as the ultimate last resort to cover their losses. That's one of the reasons they're so anxious to form this partnership with Congress, with the government, so that the laws are written in such a way that it appears that to bail out the banks is to save America. You see, if the people can be convinced that the government has to bail out the banks and make good on their debts and keep them from going insolvent, if they believe that if they don't do that, America is going to suffer or America will fall, that's the only reason that people will go for it, you see.
Just a week ago, Federal Judge Richard Leon shocked banks and the major credit card companies when he struck down a Federal Reserve regulation that governs how much retailers must pay to lenders and other companies when their customers swipe their debit cards.
I think this issue of the Federal Reserve stepping in and determining the amount of fee to be charged from swiping a credit card and who pays the fee is a perfect example of mission creep, in a sense. The Federal Reserve, remember, is just a cartel of banks. What on earth gives anybody the idea that banks can tell merchants what to charge or customers who to pay? It's because we turn to the wrong people for the solution. And if we don't stop that, nothing is going to change.
Mr. Griffen suggests that public outcry will be the only way to stop the ruin of our entire economy.
I am encouraged by the fact that the judge did respond to public reaction. But that's all it was. It was just sort of an acknowledgement that this move was unpopular. I would rather see decisions made on the basis of principle, not popularity.
He quoted an old friend, a military man and lawyer by the name of General Clyde Watts.
He said, well, the judges may not see the light, but they can feel the heat. And I remember that. It's encouraging to think that the judges can still feel the heat. Because once they don't feel the heat anymore, that means that we have a totalitarian system that they don't care what the public thinks. So that part is encouraging.
Mr. Griffen has a warning for all of us.
And people don't see that side of the coming crisis. They're just thinking about money. They think, well, if I put enough money away, I'll be fine, I'll be fine. No, they won't be fine. When society collapses, no one will be fine. We'll be living under a totalitarian system. We'll be dependent upon a totalitarian government to tell us where to live, how to work, what our wages will be, or at least how much bread we will get, what clothes we get, and so forth. Medical care, they'll take care of us, of course. They'll take care of us totally, just like they take care of prisoners. Totally. And that, I think people need to think about. It's not just a monetary issue, it's a freedom issue as well.
You've just seen clips from our first interview. We're currently scheduling interviews with Scott Meinert of Guggenheim Partners, who is currently serving on the New York Federal Reserve Advisory Board, and members of Congress who are calling for an audit of the Federal Reserve. We need your help to complete this intensive series to be released soon. Your financial support is needed now. Please contact me at the Full Disclosure Network at 310-822-4449 to make your contribution and to pledge to wake up America.